The following episode may contain sensitive content. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello.
Hey
Hi.
everyone.
How we doing? I'm stealing Nikki's line.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I want to start this episode by introducing us first before I forget. Thank you for joining us, listeners. This is The Show Must Go On, and I am Giovanni.
I am Tracy.
And I am Nikki.
I don't know why
Welcome.
So robotic.
I was hoping that you
Normal.
guys would change up the rhythm, but no.
No, we were just
Sorry.
mirroring you.
Oh my gosh. How was everyone's week?
It's been good. It's been kind of interesting. I feel like I was just talking about it to a client. Now I have like this thing now that when I get tired, I feel like my eyes are burning and I need to like close them. But it's like
Yes.
immediate. Like if it doesn't happen now, I'm like, and I don't know if it's like wearing contact lenses makes that happen, but it's like a new thing. Like it didn't happen before. It's a new thing that I have, you know, as I get older. I'm like, oh, now my eyes burn when I'm tired.
A new thing to make me suffer.
Yeah,
Yay.
exactly. Like earlier today, I was like I had texted Trey. I was like, I'm fighting for my life right now to stay up. Like it felt like it was World War III, me and falling asleep.
You
It
against
was
yourself.
you against me, and it was awful. And I just like put eye drops in. It's just so bad to get old. If you're in your 20s, people, please enjoy it.
That's so sad though that we're like we're in our mid 30s and we're like, oh
It's like
my
discovering
gosh.
things every
My
day.
back hurts, my feet hurt. I probably have like early onset Parkinson's.
Stop saying that. Oh my goodness.
Damn,
Have I drunk
Tracy.
too much caffeine? I'm
Nothing can be
shaking.
extreme. Yeah.
Do you drink a lot of coffee, Tracy?
No. No, that's the thing. I have 1 cup in the morning, and sometimes it's not even like a full cup. Like I don't have that much, so
I gotta have that
that's
Celsius.
why I'm like Parkinson's. Hi.
Oh my god.
That's fucked up.
I mean, I just have to be honest with myself. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's
forward
that.
to
You're
it.
probably
I don't
like
think so.
dehydrated
Just
as
search on
fuck.
probably because you do
Yeah.
the thing where you're like self-diagnosed. Go on WebMD, and you just type in a couple of exhaustion, like whatever, and they're like, you're dying. Cool.
You're like, great. That's all I needed today.
Yeah.
I
Great.
just had an earache. That's
I
all.
know.
Yeah.
Wait,
Brain tumor.
There's a meme on Instagram that is like when I get sick and I Google my symptoms, and it's like a cartoon showing like a casket. Like you're dying. And I'm like, that's so true.
You got
That's
your
exactly
answer.
what Google tells us.
Yeah.
So anything new out there, Joe?
I was going to
How's it
ask
going?
if you guys finished watching part 2 of Bridgerton, the new season.
I have 1 episode left, and I
Oh.
have so much to say. I think
Okay.
we should do a whole episode of it.
Okay, I'm down with
I
that.
think we should do a follow-up. I'm halfway through.
Okay, so
and like a little bit more.
we'll
like
save
of
our
the
comments
third.
for that episode. That was what I was going to ask. In terms of new stuff, I started watching the new season of The Boys. I think it's season 3 or 4. No, 4. Season 4.
I think it's 4. I can't keep track either.
Four.
What's
I
the
love
boy?
that show.
Oh, The Voice.
The Boys.
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 Oh,
It's like superheroes, but they're sort of the villains,
Yeah, it's very dark and dark
Yeah.
humor.
and it's gory too.
It's very gory.
where?
Um,
What platform is it?
Prime.
Okay, I'll look it up.
And
It's good.
the big one, House of the Dragon season premiere. Tracy, do
And-
you watch House of the Dragon?
She says she doesn't.
I'm sorry, but also to be fair, I did the same thing with Game of Thrones. So I
That's
watched
true,
the
that's
first
true.
episode.
She
It
came
took me
around. She came
3 times
Okay.
watching the first episode
Okay.
before I pushed through.
I
So I've
will
seen the
say
first
House of
episode
the-
of the first season. So
I will say House of the Dragon is more entertaining, if you get what I mean. Because
That's not the word.
No, what is it?
It moves faster.
Thank you. Yes, it moves faster. That's a
Yeah.
better way to explain it.
Because like I
It moves
was
faster.
actually saying those exact things. Like I just feel like when they're going somewhere, it doesn't take them forever.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is based on like the Dance of the Dragons, which means the dragons are already there, so they're going places a little bit faster than before.
They're like going real fast.
dragon,
too.
like how can you not go fast?
Yeah.
Trace, you should get into it because you're gonna be like, fuck. Also, like it's fun, like to go like on TikTok and stuff and see interviews, and I like to see. I don't want to see it later because then I'd be like, I can't believe I missed that moment in life.
Yeah.
Like I
Like-
missed the
FOMO?
interviews, the red carpets, what they were experiencing. But yeah, it's the first episode. It's already of this season. I was like, I did not know they were gonna take us there so fucking fast.
I know. I was like, damn, hold on. Put some
I
lube on
know.
it.
I was
Like,
like, wait a minute.
They put it in
This-
raw.
Yeah, literally. That's how it felt like.
Shit. I was like, holy shit. I
Yeah.
texted Owen because he doesn't watch, and I was like, the episode I just watched? No, the scene I just watched. I was like,
No, this first episode, it was scene after scene after scene. I was like, ay Dios.
the last scene,
The last scene.
I was like, okay. But anyway, that's good.
Okay. I wanted to talk because I went yesterday to the movie theater and I saw Inside Out 2.
Oh my God, tell us. Did you go see it, Tracy?
I saw it yesterday too.
I'm so jealous. I was telling Owen this morning, I was like, we need to see this fucking movie. Okay, what's the verdict?
I'm not, well,
Don't spoil it.
No, I'm not going to spoil it. It was fucking amazing, per usual. So fucking good. And like half of the movie, I think I was crying. Because I also feel like Pixar always does that to us.
They
Like
love
we're
to
like,
break our hearts.
and I
Fucking
swear to
Pixar.
God, like half the lines were meant for adult. Like kids will never understand what these people were saying. Sometimes
I was laughing a lot.
I laughed
I'd
a
be like,
lot. I was a bipolar person at the movie. I was either laughing or crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. It's definitely worth it to go to the movie theater and watch it.
And I liked it too because I feel like it was very much. I feel like the same people that did the first one did the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the jokes were on the same level. Just like the thought process of it. I don't know. It was just. It was good. It was really good. It's just.
And also,
So
whoever
heartwarming.
writes it, it's like genius because there was
It's
stuff
so
that were
smart.
like added as like people that like how we are inside that you don't even think about, you know. And they gave us like all those insights, and I was like, holy shit! Like, wow, this is like really well thought when they're writing. I'm like,
gotta go
if I had to write something like that, I'd be like, oh, I don't know what I'm writing right now because I'm stupid. You know, like I'm not that
I
smart.
couldn't do it.
It's so like insightful. Yeah.
It's really smart. And I mean, it's so relatable because this isn't spoiling it. It's in the trailer. Riley is now 13 years old.
Yeah.
So she's going through puberty.
Puberty.
So it's like those emotions that you go through when you're like a preteen teenager and you're angry one minute, you're crying the mood swings.
Oh my God.
Like just figuring out who you are as a person and... It's just, it was beautiful. It was really
I
good.
want
So you have to go
the
see it.
first one tonight.
I know.
You should.
It was really good.
I'll watch the first one.
And then try to go this
before
weekend.
We go see, maybe we'll go see it Friday. Because I watched the first one recently. I don't know if you guys remember. It was when we went to Epcot that one of you guys brought it up. And I was like, I've never seen it. And you guys thought it was crazy. And on the flight back home, I watched it. And
It's
I loved
so
it.
good.
My
So
sister
good.
was the same way when I just saw her in April. And I was like, Inside Out is so good. She's like, I've never seen it. And I was like, what are you doing with your life? So she texted me when she was on the plane ride home. And she was like, bing bong! With like the crying emoji. And I was
Yeah.
like, I told you. You were going to be crying, but it's so
What does he
good.
say? Take care of her.
Take her to the moon. Which
Heart.
tears me up even more.
Mm-hmm.
Take her to the I bawl every time at that part. Bye. I'm out.
I can't wait for you to watch it, Joe. You're going to enjoy it. And go with Owen for sure.
It was really good. Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about, I just watched a documentary on HBO called Six Schizophrenic Brothers, and my jaw was on the floor the whole time. Like,
So I started it and I got bored. I turned it off. I thought it had a really strong start and then it just lost me. Cause I was like, ooh, I love this. I love where this is going, and then
well, we see all the brothers. They
Wait,
come
what?
to they are on the screen later on, being interviewed.
fine, I guess I have to go back and finish that shit. I was just like,
No, I can tell you right now that Giovanni was like this.
Actually, no, I was brushing Brody's hair. I was,
Yeah,
but still, I was
it's-
like,
I loved it. And I mean, not that I love their situation, but it's, you know, when like, first of all, I mean, I'm going to comment on it because I don't think we're going to cover that, but to have 12 children, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And listen, you are growing professionally, but do you even have the means to provide for all those kids?
Sorry, I keep cutting.
And then you also like, I don't know, the mom was like super like this, like super OCD and all this stuff, and then like you find out, I'm gonna
Well,
spoil
not about
it for
using
you.
protection.
Ugh. You're also like, you find out about, and Joe, I'm spoiling this for you, that you know it's a genetic thing, and you know there's a gene that all these kids have, but that's not the only thing that happens. It's that gene has to be triggered by like some trauma that you've had in your life for you to become schizophrenic. And again, the first kid abused by his pastor. You'll find that out later, Giovanni, if you decide to keep watching. Then later on, they figure out that the second kid was also abused by the pastor because the second kid was abusing the youngest kid of the family. Like, one of them shot himself and shot his partner, and it was just like, if you see that your kids, because she said that they were kind of different from the beginning, or that they noticed that they were different, like they noticed a little something earlier, why do you keep having them? You know?
what I was gonna say was that the reason why they had so many kids was because the church wants to keep the faith going. So
Oh,
they
right,
said,
right.
You
Yes.
procreate and have a large family,
I'm
so
so
that
tired.
you have more religious followers. You know, like
Are they
A
Mormon?
fucking cult.
It's
A
like a
cult.
cult.
No.
It's like a
They
cult.
were not
Well, I
Mormon.
mean-
they were
Mormons are
Were they Protestant or Christians?
Christians. They were Christians, no? Yeah.
Christians, yeah. They were Christians. So that was the reason why they had 12 fucking kids, and the church would always promote that. Like, you
And
know,
guess who was fucking abusing sexually the kids? The fucking
father.
pastor. I am so tired
the
of
father
the church.
too.
No,
Wasn't
not
it
the
the
father.
father?
The pastor. The pastor of the church, that he would take them on this like little weekend retreats, the kids. It's just like I'm tired of the church. I'm tired of the priests and the pastors and all these motherfuckers. I'm like, is there an investigation on all? There should be like a worldwide investigation on all the leaders of the church.
there should be like a division within like some sort like the FBI or something
Yeah,
that's
that
specifically
just takes care of
for
that.
like religious denominations and going through and making sure that there's nothing going on.
The issue is that the church actually has so much power, you know? So that's tough. You know, they know a lot of people.
I don't care, man. I'm tired of
No,
them.
I don't. I'm with you. We need, like, even the church itself needs to, like, just fucking be investigated.
Well, so yeah, the fact that these kids had like a tiny chance to have like a normal, you know, life, and they weren't able to at all because of all the trauma back to back to the 6 of them. From 12 kids, 6 of them have schizophrenia.
That's insane. Like, that's shit that you hear in movies.
Yep. And it's at the end, like, some of them reunite, they're all together, and it's just like, it's just sad to, you know, see that only one of them is like the one that cares, and the one that is like, it's not their fault that they're schizophrenic, you know, because it's not their fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving along.
What a Debbie Downer.
So that's just
I
like
know,
a
so
heartwarming
sorry.
documentary.
Yeah, it made me feel so good
You want to
inside.
feel good about yourself.
You can
I don't
watch
like that shit. Tracy, what did you send me the other day that was funny? It was a video of Ghostface.
Like walking down the, like dancing down the street. And it said something like, when I open up my book and it has like trigger warnings.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, yes, bring on the trauma. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. Fuck
Us
me
reading
up.
fucked up shit. Yeah.
Well, speaking of fucked up shit, today we are
no.
talking about
Oh,
a
yeah.
loving, heartwarming documentary.
More cults. More cults.
More coat, more coat. I'm like, what the
It's
fuck am I
2024 and
cults,
people
give
are
me
still
cults.
in cults. It's 2024 and people are still in cults. I can't
Girl,
get
bro,
over
it's
that.
like catfish. How do people still get catfish? I don't fucking know. But this is the
talk
Netflix
about it.
docuseries called Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult. Bum, bum, bum. And it's a documentary film that centers around the cult allegations against 7 Films, a company which has recruited TikTok dancers and follows the life of Miranda Wilking. Okay, well, here we go.
I mean, that was like the shortest synopsis, but it's like way more, you know.
Well, we are going to
Right.
talk about it.
That's just
so-
like surface level. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like the first episode, that's really what it talks about, and then it starts to really dive in deeper to it.
Well,
Okay.
it's from the main perspective of I
that
think it starts
family.
with the Wilking family, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Which is Melanie or
Melanie
Miranda?
and Miranda.
Yeah,
So
Melanie
Miranda's
is
the one who's like still in it.
In the cult, yeah.
okay, and so Melanie is the one that's not in it. So it starts with her perspective. She's talking about her sister Miranda, who's still in it. But first they're talking about, like, I guess their dance experience with dance, their upbringing, their childhood, how they got into dance, and then how they
Basically, they blew up on TikTok.
Yes.
They're like a Wilking sister brand, and they're doing their TikTok dances together, and they are very talented. They're really good, but they're a pair, and
Yes.
then the sister Miranda met this guy, right?
Well, it's basically Miranda is older than Melanie. That's her name, right? I gotta
Yes,
confirm
it
that.
is. It is. It's Melanie.
Yeah. So Miranda and Melanie live together in their hometown, and then Miranda moves to California.
They go to
And
LA,
then
yeah.
to audition and all this stuff.
And she's
because
on So You Think You Can Dance. Like, she
Yes,
auditions
I
and she
remember.
makes it to Vegas and all that. So, like, she's legit. She's really good.
I mean, both of them. I feel
Yeah.
like they were so freaking good. And you can tell since they were little, that was like what they wanted to do. And then I guess Melanie follows her after Melanie finishes high school. And, you know, they start creating all this content because auditioning is really hard. They're not booking jobs as much as they want. So they just start using social media as an income. They start creating content and all this stuff, and then in the middle of their basically growing their following is when Miranda meets her now husband.
right, which I forgot his name. Can't remember.
Yeah,
I know his, like,
should've put all
dancer
names.
name is B Dash.
Oh,
Yes.
And was B
Yeah.
Dash already part of 7M or no?
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was like kind of their connection to 7M. Like their way in, where they get introduced to this.
Well, I think also like it started when I guess they were having a conversation about, you know, like how much should they charge for for videos and like ads and stuff. And then the leader of the church, Robert Shin, he like listens to this conversation, which nobody invited him to. And then he says, like, well, you need a little help? I can help you. I'll go fucking control your money, you know, da-da-da. And, you know, that's how it starts. Basically, he decides to, quote-unquote, create a company to manage the talent. But at the end of the day, this managing company is giving 70% of the money to the church and to him. So these dancers are making no fucking money at all.
Yeah, it's really just a cover for him.
They're getting
to,
a free housing.
I mean, really, it's like exploiting. Like, he's taking these, because I think that's what the moral of it. Like, we talked, how do these people get into cults? They're just susceptible because they're vulnerable. You know, you have people who are starving artists. They're dancers. They're trying to make it in Los Angeles, and there's so much competition. You know, so you meet someone who says, I have a company, we're going to shoot videos, I'm going to make you all the money.
I'll take care of you, basically.
Right. But also, like, you're going to learn about God.
Yeah.
Okay, sure,
Well,
but like, if I'm going to be famous and make money, okay, I'll
Who
go to
cares?
church.
And I feel like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I feel like most of the kids were from out of town. Like, you don't see any of the parents be from California. So it's like extra vulnerable. You don't have, you know, any guidance, you know, and all, well, except Joe. But Tracy and I know what it is to like go somewhere else that your parents are not near you, and you know, you're trying to get any help that you can, you know. Right. So they are extremely vulnerable.
Which is what I was going to add to that, is that it was a church that they were a part of first. They were like kind of like invited by other dancers and say, hey, look, we are a part of this church. Again, the fucking church. And, you know, when you are in
So
that
tired.
vulnerable position, I'm assuming that, you know, you're looking for like a connection. You know, you're looking for a group of people. You're looking for friends. You're looking for community.
A place
You
to
know.
belong.
Right, a place to
You
belong.
know? And they had something
Community.
in common.
And you know, maybe they weren't even religious people or church people at all. But at that time, you're probably like in that vulnerable state where you're so desperate that you're like, so what? Let's try it out. At least I belong. At least I can make friends. Maybe could be my like my community. I can
And your
belong here.
career, too.
And it turns out that they were also dancers, the people who were part of that church, because Robert was exploiting, you know, these dancers with the company that he called 7M Films, right? 7M Films.
Or like entertainment or something, yeah.
Right. I'm just curious about, because I don't think they really kind of dived into this in the documentary as to how does he have all this money? Like, where did this money come from?
Well, the
Oh,
thing
I feel like they
is,
do talk about it.
yeah, because
They
it's
do?
like the dancers were Giovanni's never paying attention. I feel like to the
Like
screen
big
when
time,
he's
like the
watching
whole
something.
second episode.
Yeah, they talk about like they were making all this money, and then they're seeing like suddenly Robert is like with a new car, and you know and I'm talking about, I think it was a Cadillac that I saw. I don't know.
He
It-
had
it was
really
like a
fancy
really
bougie cars.
Yes, him and his wife.
And like
Like
mansion, like they have gorgeous
Mansion,
house.
yeah.
Like they're not starving, that's for sure.
But where did the money
Yeah.
come from?
So,
From the dancers.
Yeah, but I'm saying
But they have to donate.
but even before that,
before
so in the second
The
episode,
church.
yes. So originally,
Yeah.
because they go back and they talk, it's those sisters, another
Yes.
pair of sisters, who are Korean. They immigrate to the United States when they're teenagers. Their mother isn't really in the picture. Their father isn't in the picture. So they start going to Shekinah, which is the church, and Robert started all these companies. Like he had them working at like a coffee shop. He had them
he
working
wanted to
in
be a
flower
producer
shops.
at some
He had
point.
them working
estate.
in real estate, which
Yeah.
is what Priscilla did, which that to me is probably a big money maker. So I think she said something like she had made like $12 million in commission. She didn't see any of that.
Any of it.
And you want to know
insane.
where the money's going?
To Robert.
And he would like they would get like paid, like the deposit would go into their account, and then the church would take it out.
Right, and say this is for the tithe. This is for God,
Donation.
God of man of God, or whatever. So basically, Robert. Yeah, like all these different things, and then you have taxes too. So you're just. She said that at the end she had like $160 in her bank account.
But she didn't question it because she had a home. You know what I mean?
See, and that's
she was
the thing, too.
brainwashed. She was brainwashed to believe, like, well, look at all the stuff that I have.
Well,
But she was
it's-
paying for
it's-
rent. They were paying for rent, which goes to
Yeah,
Robert.
I think it's also like he has installed this fear in them that if they don't do these things, they're not
gonna
gonna
go
go
to
to
hell.
heaven. You know, they're gonna like they have to like it's what he says. Like God is speaking through him. Once again with these fucking cults, man.
Yeah, as soon as
The
they say
same
God is
shit.
speaking through them, please leave.
Shut the fuck up.
Go straight
Yeah.
toward the exit, like run.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, those two Korean sisters were also in a vulnerable position because, you know, their mom was an alcoholic.
No parents.
No parent figure, you know, so
They immigrated to the States. They're English, like they're still learning. They're learning
Right.
the culture.
right. So
They
And-
wanted like a place to like make friends.
Right.
they're
And I
being
love that
targeted.
they at one point
Yeah.
like one of them brought a friend and the friend was like, nope, this ain't for me.
Well, that's what happened with Melanie. You know, Melanie came over and she describes that dinner, and she was like, "What the fuck is going on?" You know, And then when she had that phone call and they were like, you need to come tonight to this church or meeting or something, and she was like,
She's like, I'm picking my friend up at the airport.
at
That's
the
not
airport,
happening.
Like, no.
Yeah.
And she immediately thought, okay, this is not right. Something's weird here. You know?
And that's the thing. Like, they recruit people. Like, it's not Robert going out. It was the dancers being like,
Yeah.
oh, you have family,
wanna come?
friends. Like, bring them along. Because chances are, out of 10, if they get one person, two, to recruit,
Yeah.
you know, like, I'm sure there's a numbers game to it.
It takes a certain amount of vulnerability and weakness to fall to that crap, because I'm thinking Miranda, I think I would say that she comes from a good family. You know, her parents seem very loving people, very supportive. They
Super
seem to be
tight-knit.
well off, you know, like, you know, maybe not rich, but they have enough money to survive and be comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, how did she...
It's a brainwash for
brainwashed,
sure.
You know, I mean, also being that
Yeah.
the man that she's in love with is also brainwashed into it. That could be another factor, but I'm just like, how? And then
You know what I would?
where, I mean, do they all live in that community behind that gate? Like, I want to,
That looks so
how big is this
weird.
community? Like, I want to know how many people are in there, how, like, I wish that...
Well, that was the church. And then I think that he had several houses that they lived
Yeah,
in.
he did.
Because the one sister was saying that when she wanted to leave the church, and she was like, and I was planning it because I was moving to another house on Tuesday. And then when she got the call
yes.
from Robert of like, I want you to sleep with another church member, and she was like, how long do I have to think about it?
It's crazy.
And she was
Fucking
like,
sex trafficking.
yeah, I know. Like, that's a whole, we'll get into that, but. So he must
I
have had
was-
a lot of properties. I mean, how much money he has? He can afford it, right? So he probably
I
has
just
them in.
thought of right now that we were talking about like this situation, like Miranda like cutting her sister out of her life. I was just thinking like us as a group of friends, we've had the experience of someone converting and basically being like completely separated from their lives. And I think like it makes me think, was our friendship not good enough, or do you have like a new friendship standard, you know, because, or a new, you know, a relationship standard with like whomever, you know, because I think about it and we experienced something like that. Like, I'm not saying that this person is in a cult, like I'm not saying any of that, but we know what it is to be like, to see this person transform completely and be like, I have nothing in common with them, and they just like separate themselves completely from you. And you think about it and you're like, wait, like, was our friendship of years worth it? Am I not at your standard anymore? You know, like you think of, and this is just us that were like, we were friends with this person. Imagine a sibling. How do you feel when this is done to you by a family member?
And I
know?
would say that is the charisma and the, what's the word I'm looking for? Just the pastor or whoever, how they get them. You know, they're in your ear all the time, and they're probably saying, you need to be around like-minded people. You need to be around people who want God in their life, who have him in their heart. Who
And
praises
who are
him.
you to tell I don't have him in my heart, you know?
Right, but it's just like
Yeah.
so fierce that
Yeah.
they probably think, well, I got to look at the people in my life, and if they aren't on the same level as me, then I have to start pushing them away. And I have, obviously, I'm sure for our listeners, as you can tell throughout the episodes, I personally have issues with the church. I grew up Catholic, and I stopped going to church when I was 18, and I specifically got a job and asked to work Sundays, so I didn't have to go to church.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do, baby.
Right. And so I just have a lot of issues with the beliefs and just the things that go
And
on
it's
in
the
the church.
way of thinking too. It's like everyone else is less because they don't believe in what you believe.
Right.
Or
There's
like,
a superiority to it. And it's like
get the fuck out of
but
here.
we're all God's children, and we're all supposed to be loved by Him and equal. So why do you think that you're better than me?
But if you're not as obsessed, but if you're not as obsessed with God as I am, you can't be my friend.
Right.
Well, it's a brainwashing. You know, you hear that.
Absolutely.
Like Tracy said, it's fierce. You hear it multiple, like over and over again. You start to believe it. And unfortunately, people fall victim to it. Like, it's, I don't know.
I think, like I said, also it's that vulnerability and that insecurity in yourself, too. Like, you don't know what you believe. You have to have someone else tell you.
That just reminded me of that documentary we watched, Camp Jesus. Did you ever watch that?
So good.
So good. Like, you know, these kids were getting brainwashed by hearing these things over and over again, that they started to believing it, and then they would just be crying hysterically. Like, these poor kids. The trauma.
The little kid crying and asking for forgiveness for his sins. I'm like, you're 7.
Right.
What sin are you talking about? You're a baby.
God.
Yeah.
Well,
Oof.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the Korean sisters, that relationship there. Well, you know, we're jumping all over the place, but
it's okay.
Out of the whole documentary, that storyline was my favorite. Just because it was such a big surprise that, oh, wait, Robert's been doing this for a long time.
Years.
You know, and when they showed her and she was like, wait, he's still fucking around? Like, he's still around? And I was like, what? Next episode. So yeah, he's been doing this for a long fucking time, and these two Korean sisters became victim to it. But I really love their storyline because just like you said, Nikki, that, you know, we've kind of experienced this at a friendship level, but they've experienced it at a sibling level, you know, which is more intense. And the younger sister tried to help the older sister escape, and she failed. The older sister was like, I'm not leaving, I'm staying. And she was in it for what, 25 years?
23
fucking years?
And not just like these dancers. Well, we don't know what these dancers are going through, to be honest, but like she was constantly being raped, basically. So the fact that it was like, she would still think like, if I don't let this happen, I'm gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to heaven if I die. Yeah. So the power and again, I feel like cults like thrive on this, like being overpowering over all these vulnerable people, because I feel like that's what he thrives on. Obviously, he's thriving on making a lot of money, but it's having the control of all these people, all these younger people. Like the fact that, what was the name of the Korean girl that was there for 23 years?
Priscilla.
The fact that Priscilla. The fact that he had Priscilla with him since she was like 17, something like that. 16. I was like, this makes me want to cry. You know, her whole youth gone. You know, and the fact that she maybe she could have had a family if she wanted to, and she wasn't able to. Like peak time of her life was taken away from her because of this motherfucker.
And she also blames her father. What do you guys think about that?
Good, and I'm glad that she was like, first, don't touch me.
Right, don't touch me.
You know, and I fucking love when they were like speaking in their language, because I'm sure she herself felt more comfortable saying all the things that she wanted to say.
And for him to really understand what he did too.
Yeah,
he's
because she's like, "Don't you feel shame?"
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad
that
she
was kind of
like
surprising.
she nailed it on him. And because sometimes what happens is all these victims don't say anything because they feel bad, and but she was like, no, 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 I gotta heal, and I need some closure with this shit. So I'm gonna call him out, and I'm gonna tell him in person how much he damaged me.
Well, good for her.
I love that. Yes, I love that he was like, "Oh, I thought you were only in it for 5 years," which, first of all, still too long.
Still too long. You know what I mean?
Second,
And I'm with him that someone on the outside is just like, wait, I thought you were only for 5 years, 23 fucking years. Like, who does that?
right? Like, where were you? Like, I know he was like, "Oh, I tried to call
It's
you."
your child. Yeah.
Well, he fucked up because he pretty much abandoned them, and their mother was an alcoholic, and bad mother, and yeah. But
See,
I
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, Tracy. Did you want to add something to that?
Go ahead.
It was really sad and painful for me to watch when the younger sister, the Korean sister, I don't remember her name, but she was feeling some type of way because Priscilla wasn't really around as much as she wanted her to be around to be a part of her daughter's life. She was hoping that she would show up to the birthday party on time and help her decorate. And that lunch scene or dinner scene where they were at, I was like, oh my God. I was like, first of all, I was kind of happy that they got it on camera, but also like, damn, this is
It
like,
felt so intimate.
that's such an intimate conversation to have, and to have it on camera. And I don't think they were expecting it to go there. It just fucking went there.
well, especially because she admitted to her sister, she said, "You're worrying about me being late to your party when I'm contemplating killing myself. So do you want me to be late or do you want me to die?" That was basically what she was
Yeah.
saying. And then her
Literally.
sister had nothing to say. Which, I mean, that's what she was asking. She was like, "I just want you to communicate to me. Like, I don't know what you're feeling and thinking." Because she is very, like, stonewalled. She has a hard exterior, so it's hard to know what she's thinking and feeling. So it's like, you have to tell me. So
But
she's
also,
like, "You
if
want me to
think
tell you?"
about it, yeah.
I will
Yeah,
tell
like,
you.
because I see it from both point of view,
Yeah.
and it's really hard. Because first of all, it's like she's like, I just want basic communication, but then her sister just got out of a cult that she was
23
in for
years of
23 years.
trauma.
So you have to be more patient. It's just so hard. But then you think about it, and her sister is also thinking like, I need you to tell me that you're alive, basically, too. Like, I need you to tell me that you're coming. But, like, it's just such a thin line what they're trying to say to each other, but it's all coming from love, like, and caring for each other, because their whole lives they've only had each other, and you can see it through the whole documentary.
The younger sister's acting like a mom, we're not parents here, but the obvious is that, our parents did everything we did. They were mischievous. They broke the rules. They broke the laws. They hung out late, whatever, yada, yada, yada. So as they're raising their kids, they realize, hey, I've made those mistakes, and I don't want my kid to make the same mistakes. So she's trying to tell her Priscilla, like, look, I know what you're going through. I went through therapy. I'm trying to get over that trauma. I'm here to help guide you. And Priscilla's like, I need to do this on my own, at my own pace. Let it go. This is not about you. This is about me, and it's, but I also get her point. It's like Nikki said,
So
I just want to know that you're alive. You know what I mean? Just basic communication, and I will leave you alone. That's it. That's tough. It's really,
It's so tough.
I will say I'm so happy that they have some kind of relationship, because when they were first interviewing them separately, I was like please, 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 I hope they reconnected. And then I saw that they did, and I was like relieved, because it's so unfortunate about what happened to them, and I was hoping for that somewhat of a happy ending, you know, between them two. And I really do hope for Miranda and Melanie. I mean, I first of all, have you heard of these girls like on TikTok before?
I started following Melanie on TikTok, which is so funny because I was like, and let me follow her, the sister, the one that is out of the cult. And when I looked for Miranda's account too,
Yeah.
and now Melanie has like way more followers
Yeah.
than, which probably means she's getting paid way more than her sister, and she doesn't have to pay for donations for the church. So
And she doesn't.
that money's coming in clean. All the
Yeah.
taxes are being taken out.
It broke my heart when Melanie was like, I'm getting married, and I wish my sister was like,
Her sister went to the
I mean,
wedding
before
because I
that,
saw it on
She
TikTok.
wanted to be able
Yeah.
to tell her like, hey, I got engaged. I want you to be in my wedding, because there was a time when they weren't talking at all. Like she wouldn't respond to them, and then eventually she did, and started coming over for the holidays, but they were not allowed to talk about the church. And that's,
Oh my
I don't
god!
know.
Well, when you think about it, like Miranda got married to B Dash, and her family didn't go to that wedding.
Yeah.
That's when they weren't talking. Like she got married
They
without her
they
family
found
there.
out that she was engaged through
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's heartbreaking. I would be like, if that was
That's
my brother or
fucked
sister,
up.
I would be so hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
be like, what?
So
the
fucked
fuck,
up.
man. You know. And
And the fact that, like, if you think about it, like, because of their agency and the quality of their videos, like, the engagement happened and it took time for them to edit them. And she could have reached out to the family and be like, hey, like, this is happening. I'm going to post it. Even a fucking text, man. Be like, I just got engaged, just letting you know. Nothing. Zero.
what is your opinion about, when which one that's in the cult? Miranda. When Miranda comes with B Dash to the family's house for the holidays, the mom, she doesn't bring up the cult at all, because she's afraid that if she does, she's going to push her daughter away. But everyone around her is telling her, you should.
Yeah.
You should push, and keep pushing, because you can't be an enabler. Do you agree with the mom, or do you agree with everyone else? What would you do?
I'm not a mom.
I mean, if you were, this was your sister.
I'm a pusher.
I'm a pusher, Katie. I'm a pusher.
Yeah.
Put it in the burn book.
Literally. I am. I would not let it go. There's stuff that, like, with my big sister specifically, that I just still don't let go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna, I'm like, you'll come around eventually, and I feel they fear so much losing her, excuse me, that they don't speak about it. But also, how are you gonna get her out if you don't speak about it? You have to say something.
Yeah, it's tough.
Or you have to be like, listen, you have to be like, either I cut her out or I keep pushing. You could be like, we cannot let her feel what she made you all feel. I don't want you in my life until you're out of there.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard because
But then again, I'm not a parent.
you're not a parent. But I'm just thinking about like first,
that
like a
unconditional
sibling,
love.
Because it's like you're so desperate to spend any amount of time with them that you're like, fuck, if I could just keep my mouth shut, I can spend more time with them. But then I would be enabling them,
It's like someone who's in an abusive relationship. It's
Yeah.
kind of the same
It
thing
is.
where that person is controlling and, they dominate that person, their partner, like they try to isolate them from their friend. Like, it's kind of the same thing, right? So do you tell that person, like, hey, I think your partner's a piece of shit and they're abusing you? It's gonna take something for that person, for them to open their eyes
Yeah.
and be like, this person is horrible
Yeah.
to me, to break up with them. But
Yeah.
like sometimes pushing, it's not always I think it depends on the person too. Like, I don't know if pushing is the right tactic, but maybe for another person it is, that they need those reminders of like, you're better than this, you don't deserve this. I don't
I'm
know.
hoping that
It's
the
hard.
documentary
It's
will
like-
kind of not just spread awareness, but make them smell the coffee and be like, what the fuck am I doing?
So I saw an interview with Melanie Wilkin, and she was talking about, because they were like, okay, but you've seen her, you know, and she's like, yeah, but the way our relationship is not even close to where it was. It's so superficial now. It's basically talking about the weather,
Oh.
you know. Yeah, like there's nothing in depth because they can't talk about it. So it's just really sad, because she says, like, I want my sister and that relationship with her back, and I have my sister, we don't have the relationship.
Because I feel like even when she's with them, she's not really herself.
When she did that little video when she saw her parents, I was like, this is so fucked up. And I'm sure he was the one, Robert Shannon was like, you need to make a video
Yeah.
for
The
people not to
Instagram
come
Live
and
one.
attack us.
Right. Oh, the Instagram live one, I was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Pissed about that video. I was like, that fucking little bitch.
Yeah.
I was like, how dare
Thank you.
Like, her parents are like,
I bet there's not one Latino in that cult. Because your mom is gonna come and pull you from the ear.
like that. Mira carajo, puñeta.
Yeah.
We're going
you,
home
you
right
don't
now.
respect me. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt bad. I was so heartbroken with the Instagram live because I can see the pain in her parents' faces. Like, we love you so much. We just miss you. We really just want to see how you're doing. We want to save you. Like,
And it's frustrating too, because it's like you want to slap Miranda and be like, you have a loving family. You have parents who are fighting to get you back. Do you know how many people would love that? Like, there are some parents who don't give a fuck about their kids.
Yeah.
They wouldn't give a shit. They'd be like, oh, I didn't know that they joined this thing or whatever. Like, they don't care. So it's like the fact that your family just wants to spend time with you and they love you so much.
Like the dad of the Korean girl. I was like, wait, I thought you were in it for 5 years. Huh?
Yeah,
Like the difference.
exactly.
fuck, I got a brain fart again.
Shocker.
The what?
Do you have, Tracy, any fun facts? I'm just asking because I wanted to ask something that I keep seeing online.
Yeah, documentaries are hard. I don't really have fun facts. I just tried to like do more up to date, like where, like more on Robert
okay.
Shen, like
Cool.
where is he now, type of thing.
That's
Because
cool.
I know this came out recently, but between like the filming and then the editing, like
Yeah.
I'm sure it's several months.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, yeah,
behind, and things
Well,
have
like-
happened since then. So
Ask the
I
question.
see a lot of I'm excited for that, Trace, so whatever you have. So, but I see a lot of on TikTok about Twitch being part of this cult, because there were a lot, and you can like go and see on TikTok, there were a lot of videos with Miranda with Twitch and Allison dancing.
Oh, shit.
And Twitch was friends with all the other dancers. Miranda's husband, you know, like that was his group. And I don't want to, you know, there are allegations that this was because of the cult. You know, I don't think it is, because if you're depressed, you know, you have all those suicidal thoughts. But if you think about it, there were so many times that they were talking about you had to like die yourself,
Die to yourself, yeah.
die to yourself, or like something like that constantly, in order for like your family to like go to heaven or some shit like that. And, you know, it makes me think about it a little bit because I'm like, this guy was really good friends with all of them. So, what happened there? They couldn't save him?
Ouch.
Well, I didn't know about that. I had not.
Yeah.
That I
that's
just keep
interesting.
seeing it on TikTok, and that's why I was asking, like, in case like Tracy had it, because it comes up on my TikTok constantly
Right.
that they
Got
were
me
friends.
curious.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I know.
Yeah. That was a shocking death. You know, I didn't. That was. I
Oh,
mean, I didn't know
gosh.
anything about Twitch, but
Didn't see it coming at all.
No, yeah,
Devastated.
nobody.
I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Depression comes in all shapes and sizes. It looks like anything. You never like. You never know what it looks like. Yeah.
And that's the thing. He didn't seem depressed. And I mean, I didn't know him personally, obviously.
Right.
Like, I just saw him, on Ellen and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
And he brought joy. He brought
Yeah,
joy.
he always had a
Yeah.
great smile on his face. He was such a cutie. Like,
Robin Williams.
terrible.
Robin Williams. I always think about Robin Williams.
Yeah, which, I mean,
God.
sometimes it's like the people who put up that defense of like everything is funny and great and happy. Sometimes those are the people who are suffering the most.
The most.
Like they have to put on this facade of like everything is great, making jokes about everything.
Oof, that's rough. I want to change gears a bit. I want to talk a little bit about that scene where he got served. I think that was so fucking exciting.
I loved
and
it.
I was like, my heart was racing, my adrenaline was going, and I was just like, oh my god, what if like I needed to do that for a friend? Like, would you guys be chicken shit to do it? Like, if I asked
Well,
you guys
I'm-
to do it, would you do it or what?
I'm
I would
anxious
do it in
about
a heartbeat.
everything, but I would do it.
What'd you say, Trace?
Oh,
I said I'm anxious about everything, but I would do
The
it.
way they just all walked in there with their folders and like, you've been served, you've been served, you've been served.
I love the one guy who served Robert. He was so happy to do it. He was like, Robert Shin, you have been served.
Served.
Like, he was so excited.
Yeah, and they were all like eating them, and the way they just like put it away, and I can tell that they were like humiliated. But that
and
felt
imagine like
so-
with a camera crew coming in
Right.
too at the same time.
And in
you're
a
not
public
even
setting, like everyone's just sitting there eating their dinner, and then you have these
Happy.
people coming in. Like being served, that's embarrassing.
Isn't that a weird concept though, that you have to get served and it can't be like you? I don't know. I think that's just like so weird.
Oh, well,
I don't get that. But
I think it's the evidence that you got it,
like a witness,
Yeah. Like it has to be, you have to make sure that it's in their hands.
I get it.
Like
That
there's
makes
no
sense.
excuse.
That makes sense. Yeah, but I love that. I love that scene. I felt like fun. I really wish that at some point we can get in behind that gate and actually see the church and see where these people live. I want to see where the hell Miranda's living. There's obviously something that's keeping her there.
She keeps making this video saying that she's fine.
Right, because she has to keep.
And it's like,
And I bet
yeah,
you
she's
Robert's
like,
making her do
I
it.
have a house, and it's like, who cares about the fucking
Right.
house? Like, we're talking about like your mental health right now.
And Robert's probably forcing her to do it. Like, make more videos, tell people that you're fine. I wonder if they're
100%.
able to recruit more people.
Not after this documentary. I hope not.
Well,
I think that's the whole point, to expose them
I
like
saw
that.
something on TikTok that I just remembered. Because when I was looking up the Wilking sisters, there was another famous TikTok dancer with like 1 million followers or whatever, and she appeared to be in a video with B Dash and Miranda, and her comments started blowing up. I was like, let me just read these comments, because this dancer, I didn't recognize her from the documentary, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe she's new to the cult. And everyone was commenting like, oh man, not you, please. Like, are you part of the 7M cult? Please don't be part of the 7M cult. And she responded to a few of the comments, like really, being really defensive. She says, so what if I was? And what? So what? So I was like, oh, they definitely got her. You know what I mean?
I also, I don't know if you, because I started like looking into their profiles too, because it used to say like contact 7M management or something like that, and a lot of them don't say that anymore.
Oh, well, even Miranda's.
Because I also
hers,
feel
B-Dash
like
had it too.
I don't Miranda. It was like other ones that were part of it,
Okay.
but I feel like if there's an investigation going in you work for this company, you have to kind of disassociate a little bit, so you don't get dragged into it. You know?
I see that, but some of them did have it. So weird. It feels so surreal, like to see that on their Instagram, like bio, because it makes it.
And it's also
real.
like 2024. Like, how is this still happening?
I mean, there's vulnerable people everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
You know, because I always think that when I watch like these cult documentaries where it's these people who are so smart. They're like engineers and lawyers and doctors, and they move to like a commune and, you know, whatever. And you're like, how did they get there? But I feel like smart people are susceptible because they always have this like existential crisis of what is my purpose in life? Why am I here? And they want answers. They want someone to tell them. And then you have someone who comes along and maybe they say something that the person is like, okay, I could see that. And, you know, they fall into it. I don't know.
This is like a weird comparison, but it kind of reminds me of like how people become drug addicts. Like, you know, those stories of like, she was a great mom. She was, you know, a professor and really intelligent and was making a lot of money. And all of a sudden, now she's homeless and a crack addict in the streets. Like, how do you get to that point? Like, what the hell happens for some person to get to that?
You know what
point?
that reminded me of, Joe? I think you've seen it. And remind me of the
Dopesick?
name, maybe. Which one?
Dope sick?
No. The cult that they followed this lady and she turned like blue at the end from drinking that liquid.
Oh, love,
Love is
love,
something about love.
Love is
wins.
blind?
What?
No.
I know something about love.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's a documentary about this cult too, and it's just how these people just gave up their lives completely to follow this lady, and at the end, you know, she dies because they were basically poisoning her without knowing, you know, thinking that they were doing the right thing. And then it's the most fucked up, one of the most fucked up documentaries I've seen in my life.
It makes me uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah. Fuck. Love Wins? Love
no,
Wins?
not Love Wins. It's something like that, but it's on that.
It's on HBO
it came
too.
out around the Christmas time, was it around there?
Yeah.
I think I wanted to watch that. I gotta go and
Yeah.
See
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it reminded me of that because all these like people, they had these jobs. I think one of them was like a physical therapist, you know. It just like really smart people that you're like, wait, but in this area of your life, you are really naive, you know.
Yeah, like how does that happen?
No idea, man.
Well,
like I said,
always
I think
to
that they're
myself,
just
when
so
after
smart.
watching this documentary, I texted my siblings and I said, please don't ever fucking join a cult, because I see how these families are suffering and I don't know what I'd do. I think I'd fucking go crazy. Like, I think I'd storm in that bitch and be like, no, I'm taking my sister out. Let's go. Fuck all you people. You're gonna have to shoot me dead. Like, it's scary because like Miranda, like, yeah, how does that happen to someone like Miranda, who comes from like a loving, supportive, very happy family, healthy, you know, it just can happen to anyone. And it's just like scary.
Also, let's talk about this one girl that was in it. I think her name was Kylie or something like that.
yes.
And she kept saying that she saw Miranda cry many times and say that I miss my family, I miss my sister. And like she's basically being held in there involuntarily, but she still has to like play this, you know, strong person, and I don't need them, you know, and here's to prove that I'm hanging out with them, but I don't need them when truly she's suffering inside.
She's not happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And Kylie, that's that her name?
I think that was her name.
Like she was also like
something with a K.
She was saying that she's also so like embarrassed, you know? And she's like, what the fuck was I thinking? You know, like
Yeah.
I think that's the general attitude of people who leave cults. Is there's a lot of shame and embarrassment.
mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, you said, how did I get myself into this?
Like getting out of a toxic relationship, like you said, Tracy, toxic abusive relationship. I mean, I've been there, you know, where I'm like, I look back and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? I'm so embarrassed. So, I guess it's the same thing with cults, but damn. Are you guys in cults right now? Tell me right now. Wink twice.
I'm in the little cult.
Wink twice if you're in a cult and you need help.
The show must go on.
There's only 3 members, unfortunately. We need to recruit more people.
I'd be a terrible recruiter.
Oh, man, I know. We're the worst.
Same. I wouldn't be good.
I'd be like, you can join. You don't have to, but if you want to,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's fine.
So we're a nice cult. We're
Yeah. We'll be like, what do you want? You can do whatever you want. I don't care.
No
We're the
pressure,
nice
please.
cult.
Yeah.
So what are those updates, Tracy?
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, and then because I wanted to talk about something
Well, we
we
can talk
haven't
about
really
that
talked
other
about
thing
that
first.
much. No, that's fine. So it's mostly about Robert. So a big part of it too is that there were women that were coming forward and saying they had been sexually abused
Right.
by Robert. The massages, like that, and then the
Yes.
quiet on set, like the massage. If a man asks
What's up
you
with
for a
these men and
massage,
massages from...
run. If he said God speaks through him, give me a massage, just sprint out of there for your life.
It can, like, even if I love my job, like, extremely, like, I never not want to have that job, and my boss tells me, give me a massage, I'll be like, fuck this
Huge
place.
HR
I'm out.
issue.
Like, what the, like, I can't, I can't wrap my hand around that idea.
Right. If they asked me to make them a cup of coffee, I'd be like, no, let alone a massage. Bye.
Damn,
Not
Tracy, not
happening.
even a cup of coffee?
No.
Woo.
So with that, it looked like there were 2 sexual battery cases that had been filed against him. As of now, neither case has resulted in any criminal charges due to insufficient evidence and a significant delay in reporting.
Oh my God, I hate that. But like a statute of limitations kind of thing?
I guess so.
Wow.
Which is so frustrating because they did say it was like, oh, we just need like one more person to come forward. And they had like 3 or 4 or 5 women and they were still like, we can't do anything about it. You have multiple women saying something. It's like, how many more do you need? It's so frustrating. I can't.
I hope this documentary helps it, like, you know,
Right.
create momentum on, like,
I hope so too, because it's like, okay, fine, if you can't get him on like sexual assault charges, I know it's difficult, but money, there has to be something. with like
Yeah.
the exploitation, some sort of fraud. Like there has to be something there, please. So his exact whereabouts aren't known, but he is in LA and he lives with his son Isaiah, who does a lot of the videos.
Stuff.
And then as of now, Shekinah, the church, and 7M are still active.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, gross.
I wonder how many people are like how many members they have.
I was wondering about that too, because it didn't seem like a lot.
Well, the money
It
must
didn't.
be coming in because
Well, when you think about it, what about that poor guy who made $37,500 on that commercial, and he
But-
probably didn't see any of it?
but,
He saw
no,
1,000.
But what
To
makes
pay
me
for his rent.
think, something that I just thought of right now. If you are a company that needs to hire dancers, are you going to 7M? Like are you booking 7M? Like who's booking these dancers? Who's booking these companies? Like this company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're also, you know,
Well, like
I feel
I
like-
don't
Well,
think
they're own-
like
they're
I
own-
don't think you go through the company. Like they're like an agency, so it's like if you want this dancer, you reach out to the dancer, and the dancer uses the agency.
Well, and I
Right,
feel like
but
they're
I'm
sort
saying
of their
after
own
this
production
documentary-
company too, because they're making these videos for TikTok, so they have to be reaping some of the reward.
And those videos look so fucking fake. Like the sets. I'm like, what I like about TikTok is how raw everything is.
I gotta
you
go
know
back and
how
watch
how organic. And then like I see her sister's videos, Melanie,
Mm-hmm.
and then I see Miranda's, and it's like a whole ass production. I was like, I don't want to see that because it's not realistic. You know. I want to see the raw talent with like they were in a parking garage. You know, I don't want to see a stage production with two dancers doing a choreography. And let me tell you, I was also thinking about like the songs that they're using, like old songs now because he requested them, and it's true. Like you go to Miranda's account and she doesn't use like new stuff. And she's like more covered on her body.
I gotta go. I haven't really looked at Miranda's TikTok, but now I'm intrigued. I saw like when I just watched the documentary, I went to it really quickly and I didn't see much, but I gotta really kind of like dive it deep into it.
With your 3-second attention span,
I
you're
know.
like, oh yeah, I don't see much.
I mean, when
He'll look at like half of a video and be like,
and now that I have getting a third job, I don't know how I'm gonna survive.
3 jobs.
You'll
What else
give
are you doing?
three.
The real estate.
He'll give 3 seconds to each
I was gonna say
job.
personal masseuse for Robert Shin.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, hey, if he gives me
Ew.
money.
Oh
Maybe-
no,
Oh, God.
you'll have to pay him.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know what? This is gonna sound bad, but maybe life isn't so bad after. If all I have to do is dance and do dancing videos, and all my bills are paid.
Yeah, but then you're isolated from your friends and family, and you have to hear about God 24/7.
Oh, you know what? No, I take it back.
And they
I hear. I'm
and they
like,
probably
God.
don't let them watch the documentary either.
No, of course not. I wonder if they're even allowed to go on. They have to be allowed to watch movies and shit. I
Maybe
don't
like
know.
the 10
I mean-
Commandments.
They're probably.
Melanie did an
Egypt?
interview. Melanie did an interview and she was saying, I'm sure she didn't watch the documentary completely.
No, of course not. But
Because
they're
the way she
definitely aware of
reacted-
it because they're
Yeah.
Miranda's been commenting on it.
Well, and I'm sure Robert said something too. Like, you don't need to watch it. It's all lies. God wouldn't want you to. If you do, you're going to go to hell. I don't know.
Tracy, you were gonna say something earlier. Do you remember what that was?
Oh, no. No. Of course not. 2 seconds
you were
later, I
talking
was like,
about
oh,
the-
I don't remember, so never mind.
Updates on the case of Robert. No. Never.
Well, it was before the update. She's like, well, I wanted to like say something.
I don't know. It wasn't important if I don't remember. So
Well, I give it a thumbs
I
up.
think this, yeah, me too. And I think this documentary is going to help a lot the Korean sisters case, because I feel like it's bringing eyes to it and awareness. I feel like if I didn't, like if that documentary wasn't out, I wouldn't have known any of this.
No.
Like, I didn't know there was a cult and it was with TikTok dancers. I had no fucking idea.
And it's still trending on Netflix. Like this documentary came out a few weeks ago, and it's still like number 7 on the top 10, like shows to watch on Netflix. So people are watching it. Still, it's
good.
It's good. It's a good one.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, you should have already watched it by now. Don't piss me off.
Yeah. Don't get Joe
That
mad.
was like a gross.
But yeah, I
sick
also
Robert on
give
you.
it a thumbs
You'll
up.
have to give him a massage.
I know. We'll send you to church.
No, I'll watch it.
I know. I think that's Tracy's worst punishment. Tracy.
Seriously,
Yeah, we'll send you to church if you keep acting up.
that's it. I will do
Oh
anything
my God,
you say.
that's horrible.
Tracy's like, I'll massage all the men you want me to massage, but you take me to church, I draw the line.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, yeah.
Oh man.
So bad. Oh my God, I
That's
hated
so
going
funny.
to church as a kid. I hated it. I'm so happy.
Especially if you go to the Catholic one where you're like standing and sitting, standing and
standing
sitting.
and
And
sitting,
kneeling.
standing and sitting. I never understood.
And
that.
kneeling.
And the kneeling. Forgot
Oh
about
wait.
that.
Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes gave it. So Rotten Tomatoes gave it a score of 75%, but the audience score is 33%. What the fuck is that?
Well,
I know you guys really liked it, but I give it like a maybe because there were parts
I
of
could
it
have
that
gone deeper.
yes, yeah, I think there was a lot to be desired with it. Like I wanted more with certain aspects of it, especially more on like also how did Robert grow up? Like how did he get into this? Like I kind of want to know a little. I understand they wanted to focus more on the victims, which I always appreciate. But I kind of want to understand the cult leader. Like, how did they get to be in this mindset?
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I kind of want to know a little bit more about him. The sexual assault allegations, I feel like there's way more there. You know, I think that's super important. I want to hear about that. And maybe it was hard to find women who would come forward for the documentary. I could see that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there were certain things they really could have focused on.
Those are great points because it's true. You know, like this is obviously not his first time doing it. If he did it with the Korean sisters, so there seems to be a trend there. There's history there.
Well, and also they're completely different groups of people because it was like Korean immigrants, and then how did he transfer into TikTok dancers?
Right, and all these different businesses.
Well, he also
Right.
he wanted like some stardom too because he said that he had started to like produce films at some point. They look so fucking bad. And then he wanted to like represent some actors. Like everything that he was doing looked really bad until the super talented dancers came along and he was like, this is my fucking mind gold, you know?
Right, because you're
Oh, my.
exploiting talented people who are fighting to make it in the business.
Yep.
So-
he's using the vulnerable.
Yeah, they're
Exactly.
vulnerable, they're desperate. He was like, "Ooh, target right here."
Well, I mean, people like cult leaders, they prey on, people who are susceptible, vulnerable, and weak. You know, their weaknesses.
Guys,
Bastard.
stop joining cults. Enough. I'm tired.
Stop. Yeah.
Enough with the cults.
Stop.
Also,
And it's so funny because we talk about like, oh, toxic culture. And like, people are so toxic.
yeah. Also, keep joining the
Okay,
cults
well.
because then there wouldn't be any true documentaries that I could have.
I do need my cult documentaries. So
I know. So
Yeah.
it's like, you do what the fuck you want. I don't care.
and the more fucked up, the better.
The better.
So
That's sad. We're dark.
that's
We're
terrible.
awful people.
I know it's
I
terrible.
love it.
Trace, I'm gonna get you the name of that documentary.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I'm gonna watch it. I finished The Jinx. Sorry. Like.
Oh yay!
I have not finished that.
What's
I
up?
forgot about that actually.
Of course.
Love.
What are you looking?
I'm looking for the documentary.
Oh, okay.
HBO docu series.
Because they have quite a few.
Love Has Won.
Love has
so,
one. I was like,
you guys
love
are
wins.
close.
Yeah.
Love
You guys
has
are really
one.
close.
Yeah.
Love
Okay.
Has Won.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
Ooh. Please, you're good. That one is the darkest I've seen of all of them.
That one I want to like shake the fucking TV, like go through the screen and be like, ah.
The one with Nexium.
the Nexium one
That
is
one's-
pretty, but this one is just because Nexium felt like a corporation, like something bigger. But this one, it's like, guys, stop doing drugs.
Yeah, stop doing fucking drugs.
Like it
Take
didn't
a
have
bath.
to.
Go take a shower.
Take a
Go
bath.
wash your fucking
Don't kill
face.
this
Could they not
lady.
bathe?
Go get a job.
You have to see
You have
it.
to see
It's
It's
just-
disgusting. Like I can smell them
no.
through the screen.
Oh no, maybe I don't
Yeah.
want to watch it.
I'm like,
Oh.
You have
Oh.
to. You have to now. You have to
Okay.
watch it.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up then, so I can go start.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's all I
That's
have
it.
on this episode.
Me too.
I'm
Thank you
done.
for
I'm
listening,
clocking
guys.
out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go join
Me
a
too,
cult.
I'm hungry.
So,
Yes, please, so we can watch a documentary about it.
can you imagine? Like, I don't think I could ever join a cult.
Go
but
like
what if
undercover.
I did?
Do it like undercover. That would be pretty.
That actually,
Tracy
I would do
wouldn't
that.
even last undercover. She'd be like, "Fuck this."
I know that's
Just
true
walk
because
in and be like,
everything's
know what?
religious
No.
based. So
And like no, and the fact that like some of them are so like they control like what you eat, what everything, like how many hours
I
you
can't
sleep,
have
like
a
all this
donut.
shit.
I'm out. I can't sleep 10 hours. I'm out.
Yeah.
Bye.
You're like, I don't.
In that other one, the one that we were talking about, where I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. Like the lighter you are, the faster you go to God. Don't forget about that.
I'd be
I
like,
was like
fuck this
speechless.
shit, and I'd walk out.
Give me a burger.
She,
So
Tracy wouldn't last undercover. I wouldn't last undercover. Because I would start saying, "You guys are fucking crazy.
Yeah, I can't.
Get the fuck out of here. Go
I'd turn
home."
to the person next to me and be like, "You believe this shit?
I know.
You're like into this? This is a
I
thing?"
was like Melanie at that dinner with Shekinah, like, the fuck?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have thought, and my facial expressions, like I can't hide anything.
Yeah.
So I'd be like,
We should all go undercover together and start. We'd start laughing. Like,
Or they
like,
start saying
oh
something,
my
we're just
God.
laughing our ass off through
we
it,
need to
and we're
get
like,
the
"We're
fuck
sorry, we don't believe this.
no. I'd be like, I can't. Sorry.
You're full of shit. I'm sorry. We're gonna go home now. Thank you for having us."
Thank you. Bye.
That's so funny.
Okay.
Well, that's it.
That's
Well,
beautiful.
For
Wow.
joining us, join cults, don't join cults. I don't give a fuck. But do listen
But-
to us.
Yes, that's
And
what I was gonna say.
follow us
But
and
listen to our
subscribe.
podcast. That'd be great.
That I do give a fuck about. And say all the nice, wonderful things about us.
Recruit your family and friends
Yes.
to listen to our podcast.
And your enemies.
And your enemies.
They
So if
need
you
love.
hate it,
Everyone. Your
have your
frenemies,
enemies.
enemies.
Beautiful.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Ciao, Bella.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.